Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ingrid and this is Ingrid Reads a Lot. In today's video, I wanted to share with you guys a book haul because I have acquired some new books I can't even remember the last time I posted a haul, but these books are the books that I have acquired in maybe the last like 5 months or so. All throughout last year and going on into this year, I don't want to just buy books just cuz. So the majority of the books that I'm getting, I tend to read as I get them. That said, there are some books here that I have not read yet, but I'm planning on reading them. I have the subscription Fairy Loot. I have the adult fantasy version of that, and there's two books here that are from that. And then I also subscribe to Aardvark, which is like a similar to like Book of the Month, but I feel like their selections are a little bit more catered to my taste. And honestly, most of the books I've gotten on there I have read, which is like so good because when I used to have Book of the Month, I would just get books and like never read them. Without blabbering for too much longer, I'm going to share some of the books that I have acquired in the last like 5 months or so. Let's start with a couple books that I have already read. I got Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. I just talked about this book in my recent reads, whatever I'm going to name that video, I'm not sure. But if I've already posted it, I will link it up above. And this is a literary fiction novel about little kids that spontaneously combust, and it's lovely and amazing, and I really loved this book. I got it because of Deshauna. She recommended it and she was right. I am glad I went and got it because I now have my own copy. Next up, we have Natural Beauty by Ling Huang, and I actually got this book this month. We're in March still, and I have already read it and I loved it. So you'll be hearing more about this book in my March wrap up. But the premise is that we have a main character that used to be she was a pianist in like genius level. She had to stop doing that because something happened to her parents. She starts working for this company that is very much into some weird stuff. Like they are a beauty company and they are into weird stuff. And that's what this book's about. This is like a horror novel, and it's about beauty industry and what people are willing to do to look prettier. Very good. And that's all I'm going to say. Another one that I've read, and this one is from my Aardvark box, and that is Tradwife by Saratoga Schaefer. This is a horror novel about this main character that she's like a tradwife, and this kind of like it's like satirical about that whole like tradwife movement on the internet. If you haven't heard about it, Google it. It's kind of fascinating. All these women that are now like homemakers, and they post about the fact that they like cater to their husbands, and because that's what they were put on this earth to do. And our main character in this novel has everything. She has the husband, the house, the money, but she doesn't have a child, and she prays to any god on the planet to give her a child. And something comes to her in her dream and says, "Do you really want a child?" And she says yes, but it's no angel, I'll tell you that. And that's where this novel starts. It's very good, very gory, and it definitely went in a place that I wasn't expecting it to. I think I read this month too, in March, so I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's very good. I enjoyed it. Next up is something I haven't read, and that is The Picture of Dorian Gray by, I should know who it's by, Oscar Wilde. I picked this up because I really loved my read of Wuthering Heights, and I kind of like, well, if you've been here for any amount of time, you know that I like dark books, like darkish themes, horror books, and I picked that one up because I think I saw somewhere people talking about the fact that if you like Wuthering Heights, you most likely would like this one. And I'm on my classics kick this year, and I haven't read it, and I have never been spoiled for it. I am dying to read it, and yeah, I picked that up at my used bookstore. Next up, we have something else I didn't read, which is Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Oranek. I picked this up because of, forget her name, my god, why is my memory so bad? Ruse Project, that's who. I can't think of her name. And I watched a video of hers where she talks about romantasy or fantasy romance that is captivating, not only for the romance but also for the plot. And part of why I picked this up is because of this cover, because like, holy mother of god, this cover is beautiful. I also picked this up at my used bookstore, and yeah, I lucked out because this copy looks brand spanking new. So it sounds like our main character Liska lives near this forest, and she also has magic, and she's looking for this flower, I assume, because it's a little flower in the back, and this flower will rid her of her powers, because in this world people that have powers are monstrous and she does not want to have them. And so she goes into these woods to find the flower, and she ends up striking a deal with the demon guardian of these woods, 1 year of service, and then he will give her the flower. And that's where this book starts. I love the cover. That's all I'm gonna say. I haven't read it yet, but just telling you that synopsis makes me want to read it. So that is my next read, I think for sure. Next up is something else I picked up as my used, no, I picked this up at Barnes & Noble, not my used bookstore. This is The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. This is, okay, so here's the thing. I've been wanting to get started on John Gwynne, but I didn't want to start with Malice because I don't know anything about it, 1. And 2, when I was at the bookstore looking at the synopses of these books, this one appealed to me more than Malice. And I've also heard other people talking about how Malice is a little bit more difficult to get into. And so I figured I'd start with this one. And if I like it, then I'll read the series and then move on to the rest of his works. But I also heard that this is sort of like Viking inspired. I don't know if I'm making that up. Norse inspired epic of blood and vengeance. And yeah, high fantasy. I'm down to read this. I like dragons. There's a dragon on the cover. We'll see if I like it. And the next one is something that I'm going to read, and I don't know if I'm actually going to keep this book or not because I've seen some not so great reviews, but I got it because of Fairy Loot. It came in the subscription, and this is Graceless Heart by Isabel Ibanez. All I know about it, first of all, I know that they did a beautiful cover of this, and then I also know that it's like a historical fantasy romance set in Florence, and in Florence, Italy, if that wasn't obvious. 2 years ago, I went to Florence, or no, it wasn't last year, 2 years ago, and I fell in love with the city, and part of the reason why I really wanted to check this out was because of that, because it has a lot of that influence in the book, and I can't wait to read it, but I have seen some not so great reviews. We'll see if I like it or not. And then next up, another one from Fairy Loot is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. This is the story of 2 students, I think. They're like college students, I assume. And all I know about this is that they have to journey down into hell to rescue their professor because he needs to grade their papers. I honestly don't know if that's the reason, but it's the reason in my head. I have also heard some mixed things on that one, so we shall see. Those 2 I have to get to sooner rather than later, because if I don't read them, then I'm gonna have to unsubscribe myself from Fairy Loot, because Aardvark works for me because you get to pick the books, and then if you don't want any books that month, then you can just skip. Fairy Loot you can skip, but there's only like a certain amount of months that you can skip for. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep getting them because it's just, just not working out recently. Well, it's not that it's not working out, it's me. I have to read the books because I'm actually interested in those books. So we'll see. I guess I'll give myself 1 more month to figure out if I'm actually, I'm gonna give myself 1 more month to figure out if I'm gonna keep the subscription or not. Next up is another book I've read before, and that is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I adored this. I adored the love story. Yeah, I think this is literally Taylor Jenkins Reid's best book, honestly, without a doubt. Although I haven't read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo recently, or I haven't reread it ever. I wonder how it would hold up with that one. Oh, I should say that this one and the next book, I talked about them in a recent video that I've already mentioned before. So if I edit that video soon and post it, then I'll link it. But I also got these as a gift from my friend Jishana as a birthday gift. And yeah, I love both of these books, so she's on to something. Next one is Be Nice by Rachel Harrison. Rachel Harrison is my horror queen of the moment. I love most of the books I read by her, and I think there's only been like one that I didn't like, but I also haven't read The Return, and I haven't read Cackle. The one book by her that I did not like was So Thirsty. I've already unhauled that, but I don't know if you can see it from here. I have up there Black Sheep and Sharp Teeth, such sharp teeth, and both of those are impeccable, and so is Play Nice. So she is an auto-buy author for me, I'm afraid. Okay, what else? All right, next up we have, last but certainly not least, well, I don't know, but I picked this up because it was at the used bookstore, And I think this is like a indie pub book, and it's called Reign of Shadows and Endings by Melissa K. Rolchik. I actually don't know. This is about like gods and fae, and I think the gods created the fae, but they were afraid they would become too powerful, so they put them in a different world. Yeah. Put them in a hidden realm, and every 5 years a fae has to serve someone in the kingdom. I'm not sure, honestly. I'm gonna read it to you because basically what it says is, honestly, I'm filming this video, but the Miami Open final is going on right now, and I'm kind of obsessed with tennis, especially women's tennis. And you know, this is how much commitment I give to YouTube. Coco Gauff is playing, and I want her to win. If you don't know about tennis, that makes no sense, but you should look it up. It's very good. All right, so here's the thing. This is a new adult fantasy romance. And it says that the Fae are required to provide for the legacy in more ways than one. Every 5 years, the eligible Fae are gathered for the selection and assigned to serve in one of the 6 kingdoms, to be chosen as a personal source. It sounds like our main character, Tesselin, is chosen as their source. And then she finds herself the personal source to the heir of endings. She winds up serving in the darkest kingdom of them all, fighting not only the fate thrust upon her, but the temptation to lose herself to desire. Tessa will do anything to escape her new destiny, until she starts to realize maybe their world wasn't as forgotten as they thought, and maybe she's the reason why. That sounded really good to me. This is kind of a chunker, but my used bookstore is very good, because if you read something within 2 months, I think it's 60 days, and you don't love it, you can give it back to them for half the money you paid for it, which in my opinion is a very good deal. Because like, even if I do read this and I don't love it, I can give it back and get credit, right? Like, it's not like you're getting cash for it. You get credit, like store credit. So anyway, that's it. Long rambly video. Well, I don't think this is very long rambly video about all the new books I've acquired recently. And I'm so proud of myself, because the majority of these I have read. I think the majority, yes. And yeah, that's my plan for the rest of the year, is to only get books that I really think I'll enjoy, so that I don't have a bunch of unread books on my shelves, which is the bane of my existence. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Goodbye. I'm back, baby, because I forgot to tell you guys about one book, and I don't want to have to think about the next book haul I gotta film, because I forgot about a book, so I gotta tell you about it. I read Diary-Bound on Kindle Unlimited, and again, I read it in March, so I'm not going to talk too much about it here in this video, because I will talk about it more during my March wrap-up. But this is like if Fourth Wing was about wolves, but better, because I find that the romance in this, and well, first of all, the romance or the character, I don't want to spoil anything, but this book has very little of that. This book is more about the plot than the romance, in my humble opinion. And our main character is like a fighter and wants to save her sister. Her sister was kidnapped by these siphons that are always plaguing this land that they live in. They're always at war with the siphons, and her sister is kidnapped, so she signs up. She enlists in the army to go to the front lines and find her sister. And that's what this book is about. And you're kind of finding out along the character what's going on in this world. And she's also, while she enlists, she ends up being bound to one of the direwolves. And let me tell you, that direwolf is petty. And I was here for it. And I bought this book because I really liked it. And the new one, I think, is coming out in May. I think this was originally like self-pub, and then it got picked up, or indie pub. I'm not sure. Yeah, I really liked it. The second book is coming out, and I think that one is going to tell me if I'm actually going to love the series or not. It really will depend on what happens in future books, because this first book was a nice opening, but I've been burned before, you know? Yeah, very good. And so I got it, and we shall see. Yeah, okay, now I'm really going. Goodbye.